80s on the WUTV 8 o'clock movie. I must have been the only person in town who hadn't seen it yet. It used to play at the theaters constantly, usually as a double feature. When it played at the drive-in with Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, they changed the title to House of Crazies, probably to trick people into coming out and seeing it again. A low-budget British production, Asylum was an anthology film, made up of 4.5 stories written by Robert Bloch, who I'm sure was still pissed about only getting paid $5,000 for the movie rights for Hitchcock's Psycho. That movie made like $1 bazillion, and he was still stuck writing crappy anthology films. The premise of the film is pretty good. Our main character arrives at an insane asylum. Pretty creepy location for a movie.
Dr. Martin.
Yes.
You'll forgive me for not rising.
Hey, look, it's the wheelchair guy from A Clockwork Orange.
Try the wine.
What, did he only play characters in wheelchairs? What a lazy actor. Movies like this always have thin stories, so they like to pad the running time by having really long credit sequences. Or scenes like this, where a guy takes like 3 minutes just to climb a flight of stairs.
There are several patients upstairs.
The format is, he tours the asylum, meets some of the prisoners, and hears the stories about how they wound up to be here.
Aren't the patients free to move around at all?
They're not too badly off. You'll see for yourself.
The first story is a classic Tales from the Crypt setup. A man wants to murder his wife so he can run off with his mistress. There must be hundreds of these murdered wife stories. It makes me think the writers all must have been these bitter, alcoholic divorcees.
Oh, I know you, Walter. You're a weak, vain, selfish opportunist. You're content to live off my money.
I've got a present for you.
Oh? What is it?
You'll see.
It's always bad when someone in a horror movie says something like that. It reminds me of this one guy I read about. He killed his wife and his kids on Christmas Eve. The way he killed the wife was, he brought her downstairs to the rec room, and he told her, "Close your eyes, I've got a surprise for you." And when she closed her eyes, pulled out a gun, put it to her head, bang. Now in the good murdered wife stories, the husband usually has some ingenious or ironic way he winds up killing the wife. In this one, he just clobbers her with an axe.
Rest in pieces.
And then her chopped up pieces come back to life and attack him and his mistress with some really bad puppetry. It's really not much of a story. The second story is about a tailor, who actually looks and sounds a lot like Christoph Waltz wearing old man makeup.
Mr. Stebbins, I got a wonderful idea.
Ooh, that's a bingo!
He desperately needs money, and Grand Moff Tarkin shows up and offers him £200 just to build a suit out of this weird material that glows, sort of like the suits everybody wore on Krypton. Turns out the outfit has the power to resurrect the dead, but the tailor's wife puts it on a mannequin instead that comes to life and attacks them. It's pretty long and dull, although I did like the way the dead son turned out to be not a child, but some middle-aged schlub with a pedophile mustache. He looks pretty creepy in that coffin. The third story is a real turd. Since the viewer knows immediately that that girl is just a figment of the other one's imagination, you keep waiting for there to be some kind of a twist, but there isn't.
But you know that's not true.
Pretty lazy. I mean, look at the maid's blasé reaction when she finds the guy dead. If the people in your story are bored, how do you think I feel? The final story features the guy from all the Pink Panther movies, building these little men. I suppose they're going to be a race of atomic supermen who will one day conquer the world. You'd think he would have built something that had a little bit more mobility. Oh, why is everything in this movie so fucking slow?
Yes, I think the time has come to take violence toys away forever.
For everything that Asylum lacks in production value and acting and story, it at least makes up for by having a pretty good video cover. Check it out. It's the murdered wife's severed head, all wrapped in brown paper, bundled in twine. For a horror movie, what more do you need?